Haverim. Hello, everybody. Um, Second and last video for today. So I want us to turn to the early settlements of Gush Emunim. One would be the Hawara south of Shechem. Um, Today, if one wants to reach Alon Moreh, Har Bracha, Yitzhar, then you drive through Hawara, and that's in northern Samaria, Tzfon HaShomron, and that was only a couple of days after Yitzhak Rabin became prime minister. So this is June 1974. But the main aliyah, lakarka, the ascent, yeah, to the land of Gush Emunim that I want to mention is the Garin Alon Moreh. And this was led by figures like Beni Katzover, Menachem Felix. Today, by the way, today's Alon Moreh settlement was established only a few years later in Har Kabir. Now, the ascent of these Alon Moreh people, of this group, took place on June 5, 1974. Together with Rav Tzvi, that's why it's so important. Obviously, Rav Tzvi didn't join most of these settlements, and this one he did join. You can see he has this plant. He's holding his plant in his hand. By the way, the tall follower, the tall disciple of Rav Tzvi that's standing on his left, and you can only see his cap, is Rav Tzvi Tau. You can see Hanan Porat, you can see the Knesset member Geula Cohen, you can see Rav Yaakov Filber here, and I identified at least two other people, but I do not remember their names now. But this was a very, very, very memorable, very well-known moment. Who else was there? We don't see them here in the photo, but we had this included Ariel Sharon, Zvulun Hammer. There were 16 like these small houses that they built. They were, I'm not even sure. They were probably tents. They weren't real houses. These are 16 tents. Yeah, you can identify them behind the heads you see of Rav Tau and Geula Cohen. So you can see there are 16 tents, and the IDF offered a compromise that they should move to another location, but they refused, and the settlers were evacuated in a largely passive manner. This ascent is important because it contains the root of the debate we will discuss at length later. Should we focus primarily on settlements? Should we ask whether the people are with us, as I mentioned in our last video? Should we oppose IDF soldiers, and if so, how? So on the one hand, Rav Tzvi participated in the ascent. And he even said, shoot me, tirubi, taviu mechonat yeriya, tirubi, bring a machine gun, bring a machine gun, shoot me. Remember, he was also speaking before about a war, and you should die and not be willing to give up any piece of land, right? And on the other hand, when it came time to evacuate him, he left without resistance. This general in the army held his hand, and he left with no resistance. Now, his words said one thing, and his body said another thing. Why? Was it because he was physically frail and expected the young to confront soldiers, or was it because no one should confront soldiers? And he wanted to express deep pain with strong language. What exactly is happening here? Okay, remember these questions because both sides and religious Zionism followers of Rav Tzviuda are going to use this Alon Moreh moment to say as an evidence to their position. What would Rav Tzviuda say? We need to, when we finish the course, we need to print a sticker. What would Rav Tzviuda say? What would Tzviuda say? What would Rav Tzviuda do? What would Rav Tzviuda say? Um, let's take a moment to watch a short silent video of, it's not this ascent, it's on one of them. This is from the 80s, okay? And I want you to try and notice things in the video about the people. It's very short, and you're welcome to share your thoughts in the discussion, okay? I will not discuss this now. I just want you to, it's a silent video. It's interesting. You'll see men, you'll see women. The noise is me eating a biscuit. Okay, what do you notice? See themselves as pioneers, the new chalutzim, fulfilling Zionism. Just this time, it's not only matter, it's not only material, it's spirit. This is how real Zionism should look like. In their eyes, of course, yeah. You may agree or disagree with this. You know I'm careful about not sharing of my own opinions because it's irrelevant. You're all entitled to have your own opinion. Just want us to understand the theology and ideology behind this all. This is Rav Chaim Druckmann. Okay, some people you can already recognize. Here he is again. Here's Rav Moshe Levinger sitting next to him. How many secular people, if at all, do you see here? Some writing, some politicians. What is happening there? I think the fact that this is silent is very powerful. Okay, here we have a helicopter landing. Let's see the happening. Okay, here comes the IDF. Here come the IDF. We have some religious Zionist IDF soldiers. Who are they going to be with? Some of them may even learned in Merkaz Araf. Are they about to, what are they about to do? Right? So they're gathering. It seems like they're not going to make it easy on the soldiers to evacuate them, to pull them, to tear them off the land. Well, you see the soldiers here are grabbing a settler. Is it violent? Is it not violent? Now, another important point is that at the start, Gush Emunim enjoyed much broader consensus in Israeli society. Please remember this. Some of those who endorsed the idea of the greater land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael Shlema, came from cultural and intellectual circles, usually seen as left of center. Yeah. Google the Ein Vered, Chug Ein Vered. For example, July 25, 1974, there was an ascent to Sebastia. I think it was number 7 or 8, something like that, which Ariel Sharon and Ehud Olmert, not exactly someone you would associate with Gush Emunim, right? Ehud Olmert, he was there. They took part. They came to support. And many and after 1977, political shift, right? We know the political shift of 1977, Hamahapach. Begin declared, as I mentioned before, soon there will be many more Adon Moreh. But what I want to tell you, what I want to remind you is that the political shift was 1977, but it was preceded by a process of social trends moving rightwards for several years. What we see 1977 is the result, but it didn't start in 1977. Another example I want to give you, and Gush Emunim was founded 1974. So at that time, you already have this shift to the right in politics in Israel. The result was 1977. But it started gradually a few years before. Another example I want to give is Naomi Shemer. Very well known. Very well known. I guess all of you know her. If not, please Google her. Naomi Shemer. And she wrote this poem for the Sebastia settlers. And she romanticizes them, idealizes them. She's secular. And look what she writes. Ve'az ra'iti, and she's speaking about these settlers returning to Sebastia again and again and again. By the way, the famous photo of Hanan Porat says hands, someone carrying him on his shoulders is in Sebastia. Remind me, I'll share the photo with you. ואז ראיתי מסביב את העשרות, ואת המאות ואת האלפים, אנשים כל כך מאושרים, אנשים כל כך יפים, וקולם במקהלה גדולה כרעם הרחוק מתגלגל, ארץ ישראל. Translation, and then I saw around me tens, hundreds, and thousands, people so happy, people so beautiful, and their voice in a great choir like distant thunder rolling, the land of Israel. Obviously, in Hebrew, it rhymes. This is from a song called Ish Muzar, Strange Man. Now, I want you to watch a recent performance, really recent performance, of the same song. So this song is from the 70s, right? And now we have a recent performance of the song. Even today, there are people who want to see themselves the hires to the first settlers, who in their turn saw themselves as the hires to the original secular Zionist pioneers. They are close to the land, they're close to nature, to physical effort, to readiness for confrontation, even to violence. Some scholars detect links to German Romanticism, a point developed, for example, by Shlomo Fischer in relation to figures like Rav Yitzchak Ginsburg. If you like, maybe we can dedicate some of one of the classes. I think we have 4 more left, unfortunately. Why are the semesters so short? 8 classes, 8 meetings. Now pay attention to the small details in the video. And for me, I mean, this is it's telling that they chose a Nomi Shemer song. We won't watch the whole thing. I just want maybe a minute or two to get a sense.
איש מוזר, איש מוזר, בדרך לכאן פגשתי איש מאוד מוזר.
On the way here, I met
שהלך כמו סעורי, מלמל לעצמו בשקט ואמר, על משכבי בלילות אני שומע קול, קול פעמון גדול מצלצל, ובקומי בבוקר אני חוזר ואומר, וכמו מתפלל, ארץ ישראל,
ארץ ישראל,
שייכת לעם ישראל,
שייכת לעם ישראל,
ארץ ישראל, שייכת לעם ישראל, ואדונה לי מנהגי היום, וזריחה בערים יפה ללב, וכך בכל ענות, וכך בכל הלל, וכך יומם וליל. ארץ ישראל שייכת לעם ישראל, ארץ ישראל שייכת לעם ישראל, והיא שייכת לו, לא כדי להחזיק בחיל כיבוש, אוכל מצב, היא שייכת לו כדי לבנות בה את בית חלומותיו, וכך בקיץ ובחלום ומדור לדור ומתוך הרגל. ארץ ישראל שייכת לעם ישראל. איש מוזר, אמרתי, תתבייש, סיסמה כל כך ישנה, הרי אתה מחוץ לתחום ומחוץ לקו, ובעיקר מחוץ לאופנה, אבל האיש המוזר לא ענה לי, הוא לא ענה. ואז ראיתי מסביב את העשרות, את המאות ואת האלפים, אנשים כל כך מוזרים, אנשים כל כך יפים, וכולם במקהלה גדולה, כרב הרחוב מתגלגל. ארץ ישראל.
Whoever of you want to continue listening to it, please do. It's on YouTube. Ish Muzar, if you have trouble finding it, I'll be happy to forward it to you. And there is also criticism of Ish Muzar, of the song of Nomi Shemer and of Gush Emunim. So the Israeli broadcasting Rashut HaShidur produced a parody song. So it's a parody song, the parodia, in which actors dressed up as settlers. We have Rav Moshe Levinger here in the middle. Not really him, right? It's an actor. And they sang about the strange man, Ish Muzar, in a mocking tone. Let's watch the video. Now, even if you don't understand Hebrew, you can still see the imitation, the ridicule, and clearly hear the repeated Hebrew words, Ish Muzar, strange man. Now, pay attention to some of the lyrics from this song that connect with the settlers' ascent to Sebastia in 1974. So what are these settlers here in this video saying? They're saying, "Im tzarich gam atzamot nishbor lekoach tzahal." Because I want you to see what they're saying in this song that's intending to mock the settlers. So they say, if we must, we'll even break bones of the IDF forces, or a little tearing of clothes, a little threatening with force, קצת קורע בגדים, קצת מאיים בכוח, how we grabbed the government by the throat, תפסנו בגרון את הממשלה, how we made a mockery of the state, איך עשינו צחוק מהמדינה, how this government gives in so easily, איך הממשלה נכנעת בקלות. Now you can see here that the message is that Gush Emunim, I'll play this in a second, was acting against the state, dragging the government and leaders like Rabin into the settlement adventure. So the claim is not that the government used Gush Emunim, but rather the opposite. And of course, there's violence against, there's a criticism, sorry, of violence against soldiers. Also very short. Oh, and it's in the melody of Yankee Doodle.
איש מוזר כחום היום הלך פיזם לו זמר והאיש נחטף פתאום לשיר של נעמי שמר ארץ ישראל יפה פורחת בסימפתיה יש לנו תביעה דחופה בקשר עם סבסטיה אנו כאן לא נוותר על אבל או על רגב לא נשאר לנו יותר מקום פנוי בנגב ארץ ישראל יפה פורחת בסימפתיה
In the middle we have of Moshe Levingel. The guy with the drum is supposed to be Hanan Porat. And the other guy I do not recognize. This is supposed to be Hanan Porat.
אף אחד כאן לא אלים, גם לוינגר נינוח קצת קורע בגדים, קצת מאיים בכוח ארץ ישראל יפה פורחת בסימפתיה יש לנו תביעה דחופה בקשר עם סבסטיה איך תפסנו בגרון את כל הממשלה
תפסנו בגרון את כל רבין דודל
ארץ ישראל יפה פורחת בסימפתיה יש לנו תביעה דחופה בקשר עם סבסטיה איך עשינו צחוק מהמדינה תודה לאל איך אפשר במחנה צבאי להתנחל איך הממשלה הזאת נכנעת בקלות איך קיבלתם עוד שיעור בסך
Okay. Now, I want to conclude with, and I'll be glad to hear your thoughts. Is Tomer Persiko right? Does Gush Emunim exist today or not? In what way? Now, according to Tomer Persiko, and you see the quote here, the Greater Land of Israel movement, yeah, Eretz Yisrael Hashlema, which arose after the Six-Day War, presented quite an impressive collection of secular Israelis, Chaim Guri, Natan Alterman, Aaron Amir, all of these you can Google if you haven't heard of. And I'm confident you have. Moshe Shamir and others, members of Gush Emunim, saw in this a sign of the progress of Rav Kook's vision. That through direct contact with the homeland, the Jewish spark, and Nitzotz Yehudi in secular Jews would be awakened. Okay, now you can read this better and faster than I can, so just please, take a look. This is translated from the Hebrew source, but he's speaking about since the 80s, the state of Israel has repetitively reduced its sovereignty over the territories of the land of Israel, speaking about Sinai, about Gush Katif, and he's speaking about a major blow to Kookist theology, and weakening this movement. What do you think? Again, I think today, post October 7th, I do not agree with this. I think it may have been true for some years. There is truth in these words, but in my perspective, I think that in many ways, the ideology is very much alive, very much continuing. So the name Gush Emunim has changed to Amana, to Moetzet Yesha, to Tzionut Datit, Mifleget HaTzionut, the Tzionut Datit Party. Some of the people have changed, but I can see a direct line. I can see this until this very day, but I'll say more later on in this course. The question for the discussion today is about whether the Six-Day War impacted the emergence of Gush Emunim, or maybe the Yom Kippur. Did it play a role? What kind of role? Now, I do want to know that also people who say it's a Sheshet Hayamim, it's a Six-Day War result. Obviously, they're aware of the fact that Gush Emunim was established after Yom Kippur, but what they would tell you is that movements aren't established in one day. And we see the results of the Six-Day War only several years later. And I think it's a very fair point. So they would say it's too early. I mean, it's too close to Yom Kippur to say that it was a result of Yom Kippur. It's definitely a result of Sheshet Hayamim, the Six-Day War. We already touched on this in today's lesson, so I encourage you to address other aspects. You do not even have to answer this specific question. Just feel free to address other aspects of the class in your discussion post. I look forward to reading and seeing what you have to say. I'm grateful for the variety of perspectives and beliefs represented in this group. We don't have a large group. Sometimes I have courses of 30 or 40 students. Here we have less than 10 students, right? But I feel very fortunate. I'll tell you the truth. I feel very fortunate. I'm very grateful, and I truly appreciate the respectful and intelligent dialogue you're creating together. And I hope you're enjoying as well and learning as well. I know you're very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable, and I hope I'm contributing as well. Toda rabba lachem. Thank you very much, as always. Contact information, WhatsApp. You can find me in Israeli WhatsApp, Singapore WhatsApp. and both these Ben Gurion and Gratz emails. Happy to hear from you during the course, after the course. In this opportunity, Gmar Chatima Tova, Shana Tova Umetuka to you, to your families, and I hope for really for a year of security, a year of peace, a year of blessing and growth and healing and all the best. See you in a couple of days. להתראות.